greatness continues.
Here's Clark, deep three, left wing. Count it!
Coach Bluder, Caitlin, and the Hawkeyes aren't done yet.
Now to Stalky, driving layup, good with the right hand, and she's fouled.
It's Iowa versus UConn in the Final Four.
The Hawks will rock and roll to Cleveland, Ohio.
Tune in Friday at 8:15 for full coverage of the NCAA Women's Final Four on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Brought to you by Athletico Physical Therapy, proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Big Ten Conference. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and Iowa Corn Promotion Board. You may think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Shields, we're right there with you in Des Moines, Sioux City, Iowa City, and Cedar Falls. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Iowa women's basketball with the incomparable Caitlin Clark behind the wheel faces Connecticut in one national semifinal Friday night, while overall top seed South Carolina clashes with Cinderella North Carolina State for the right to face the winner for the title on Sunday. This is the Fight for Iowa podcast, sponsored by Athletico, UIHC, Iowa Corn, and Shields.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Tickets are on sale now for the Hy-Vee IndyCar Race Weekend Concert Series. Saturday, July 13th, see Luke Combs and Eric Church. And Sunday, July 14th, see Post Malone and Kelsey Ballerini live in concert. One ticket per day gets you into a race and 2 concerts. Tickets on sale now at HyVeeIndyCarWeekend.com.
Are aches, pains, or injuries keeping you on the sidelines? At Athletico, our movement experts are here to help you turn your setbacks into comebacks and create a personalized game plan for your recovery. With no prescription or referral needed, Athletico Physical Therapy is where your comeback story begins. Get started today by scheduling a free assessment at athletico.com. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
Now back to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
All Everything Hawkeye guard Caitlin Clark winds down her collegiate career this weekend at the Final Four in Cleveland. The Hawkeyes face UConn Friday night around 8:15 after South Carolina and North Carolina State meet. For Clark, nothing matches the exhilaration or animation of a Final Four.
Yeah, I think that's obviously our goal. That's where we want to be, but you got to win one at a time. There's still 2 more there to get, and that's what makes the Final Four so fun. And, anybody can take it, anybody can win it, and yes, we want to win the national title. That's probably what 100 other Division I basketball teams said when they started their season, and there's only one team of 360 that get to end their season happy, and to me, that's what makes this sport so fun. A lot of people end disappointed, and being so close last year, I think that's what just drives you. But I know our group has given everything we got, and at the end of the day, you win, you lose. I feel like our group has given so much to this game and to this program that you can always hold your head high. But I think at the same time, that's the reason we have been able to play such good basketball is we don't want this to end, and we want to keep coming back and working hard with each other and fighting for one more week and, extend it as long as you possibly can, I guess.
Clark enters the weekend averaging 32 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds. The Hawkeyes have won a school record 33 games with room for 2 more. Men's leading scorer, Peyton Sanford, was named Academic All-District this week. Sanford, a junior from Hawkeyes, now advances to the Academic All-America ballot. Sanford's 3.5 GPA features a finance major. Sanford led the Hawkeyes with 16.5 points a game this season, plus 6.5 rebounds an outing. Track and field swept Big Ten Athlete of the Week. Kaylin Walker and Marielle Bruxford excelled in the 100-meter dash and 400 hurdles, respectively. Mike Stein shattered his own school record in the javelin, while Kat Moody shot-putted 55 feet 2 3/4 inches. Marlyn Deedy and Kylie Welker have been named finalists for the Women's Collegiate Wrestler of the Year. Both won recent national championships, senior Deedy at 155 pounds and the sophomore Welker at 170. 4 Hawkeye grapplers have been named Division I Scholar All-Americans. They are Drake Ayala, Jared Frank, Zach Glazier, and Aiden Riggins. Student athletes must have at least a 3.0 GPA, be an All-American on the mat, or a national qualifier, among other criteria. Spring football practice has been going on for a couple of weeks. Iowa coach Kirk Ferentz starts his 26th year at the forefront of the program. Ferentz has a special liking for spring ball. A one-time high school English teacher, this period, he offers, is all about educating, instructing. There's no opponent to worry about. Now, there is a new offensive coordinator and a number 1 quarterback that continues to rehabilitate a knee injury.
Yeah, this spring ball is really, it's a really deliberate teaching mode, if you will. We got all kinds of guys at all different levels. This year's a little different because of the guys that chose to come back with the COVID year, and so I think it's 7 or 8 guys chose to come back. So you got guys that are very veteran. Then we got, like always, you got the other guys at the other extreme, really young, and this is really valuable time for everybody. The way they're working is different, but nonetheless, it's just a really important time for us.
Coach, Cade obviously not participating in drills at quarterback. Is that a negative? Is it a setback? He's a veteran.
Yeah, in a perfect world, we'd have him out there practicing right now, and that's what he wants to be doing. So I just try to caution him not to do too much. He's throwing standing, throwing the football. You can do that. But we don't want him to push it because he needs to be healthy in June. And if all things go like should, that's where he'll be. But he's right there on the mental front of it. And with the new offense going in, it's a different set of verbiage and those types of things. So this is really valuable time for him. To your point, he is an experienced player. He's played. So my experience is at least guys that have been on the field, they it comes back quicker for him. So I don't think it's going to be a big process that way, but it's good he's in the front line. And it's a really good opportunity for both Deacon and Marco to get a lot of quality work. And we're 40% through right now, seeing a lot of growth already. And, we'll just see how fast they can push the clock here in the next 6-9 workouts here.
Kirk, you knew about Tim Lester when you hired him. Now you've had a chance to sit in meetings with him, a few practices, additional impression.
Yeah, he's been great. He's really everything we thought during the interview process, and then very consistent with all the people I talked with about him. He's a high-energy guy. He's got, I think, a really active mind, really good offensive mind, and that goes beyond that. But he's certainly, I think, got a good plan, good vision of what he wants to see done, and he's got a really good way with the players. So it's all been positive, and really, I think the challenges for all of us being the players, the rest of the offensive staff just getting caught up, and myself included, learning the new language and learning the movements and all that. And, you can only meet for so long, talk about it, and then at some point you got to get on the field. And being on the field and filming it and then going back and looking at it in meetings, that's the best way to learn. Always has been, always will be. And it's a really valuable time, not only for our players right now, but the staff as well.
You have a new receivers coach, John Budmeyer. He's been here for a couple of years, but my question is, big picture, when you have a couple new coaches on one side of the line of scrimmage or the other, what are the pitfalls? Is it more communication, like you say, understanding the language?
Yeah, it's really a tale of two cities. The defensive staff has all been intact for a while now, and we're not making any major wholesale changes, just little tweaks and adjustments. We're flipping it around. John's in a new role now with the receivers. Tim's obviously new, and he's implementing a new offense. So, yeah, there's a lot of learning going on at different levels, but I think it's been invigorating, and it's a challenge, but that's good. Challenges are good, and sometimes change-ups is good that way. So I think everybody's kind of on edge mentally right now because it's not something they already know. It's something new. It's a new language, but it's still about blocking. It's still about execution. You got to throw it where it's supposed to go and run the right routes, make the catches, hit the right hole if you're a back, and then we got to create holes up front. And so those things don't change, and that's really I think still the biggest challenge in football is that execution aspect.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Always good, Gary. Thanks.
Last season, Ferentz surpassed Hall of Famer Amos Alonzo Stagg for third place all-time in Big Ten victories with 116. He has 208 total wins in 28 seasons as a head coach. Iowa will benefit from the return of 8 mostly starters to the defense, most notably All-American middle linebacker Jay Higgins. The senior from Indianapolis racked up 171 tackles. That tied the school record for most in a year, led the Big Ten, and was third nationally. Higgins said he just couldn't pass up playing another year for coordinator Phil Parker.
No, sir, I love it here. I love being back. Every reason I chose to come back is just times two. I love the coaching staff. I love the team. I love being around the guys here. And I just knew, the next level probably wasn't going to offer the same thing.
Linebackers were flying around today. Nothing new there with Phil Parker, huh?
Yeah, definitely good to see the young backers out here. They're fresh, they're juiced up. They let me take all the hard 14 weeks of the season. Now these dudes are ready to come play. So it's good to see those guys getting a chance flying around. Yeah, I'm the old guy that I used to make fun of. I'm the fifth year who's still in college. I used to be the kid that why don't you just go get a job? I'm that guy now. So just can't let it go.
What's the same about the defense this year? I know it's only April, but what's unique about this particular defense?
Believe it or not, Coach Parker, Coach Wallace, they have a unique way of finding what needs to be fixed. On the outside looking in, you could say we had a pretty solid year. But to those guys, they come into work every day like we gave up 26 points every game, and that's really what I can appreciate about those guys. Is we're always fine-tuning, we're always finding something that didn't work, always finding something that can even work better, and you do that for 20 years like Coach Parker done. I think you see why he's at the level he's at.
That Iowa defense will engage Illinois State to open the season August 31st, followed by Iowa State in Kinnick Stadium on September 7th. I'm Gary Dolphin. Thank you for joining us on this week's Fight for Iowa podcast. Go Hawks!
You've been listening to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Hawkeye fans, remember to hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. Once you become a Fight for Iowa podcast subscriber, you'll automatically receive the latest episodes of the Fight for Iowa podcast, the Hawkeye Women Rise podcast, Hawk Talk replays, exclusive game content, and more. Until next time, on Iowa and go Hawks! The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.